Here at the Veronica's Cup, it's time to turn our attention to the compound men's gold medal match. Let's go down to the field of play for the athlete introductions.
Number 1, Viktor Orosz from Hungary. And on target number 2, Stas Modic from Slovenia. And the judge in the match is Niels Buitenhuis.
Time to go for gold. The compound men's individual. Viktor Orosz of Hungary is 23 years old and the world number 88. Goes up against home favourite Stas Modic of Slovenia, also 23, the world number 42. Orosz, the world youth champion from 2015. Modic looking for his first ever senior outdoor international medal here in Slovenia. Hungarian will shoot first.
Viktor, 10. Stas, 10.
Solid start from the pair of them. Number 15 arrows, cumulative score. Highest
Viktor,
at the
9.
end takes the gold medal.
I've seen Viktor on some other international competitions now, and he does not shoot very textbook. He's very out of the box in the way he shoots 10s, or in this case a 9. But yeah, he's a bit dynamic in his shooting, and especially after the shot wins or goes off, he can throw his bow arm around it a bit. So it'll make for an interesting watch.
Stas, 10. 29. 29. However, the second arrow for Stas Modic was 9, possible 10. So we have to wait for the judge.
Well, we heard the stadium announcer there calling a 28 plays 29. Well, actually he said 29. We had it down as a 28 for Orosz and Modic for a 29, but we did have the second arrow for a measure. Chef Vandenberg, your expert eye on this one?
I think Stas has a very good chance of hitting the 10 line, and Viktor also has one that's very close, but was a bit more difficult to see. So yeah, my expert eye says that we might have to wait a bit for the official results.
Very sensible.
And it's confirmed that the 9-liner was a 10 for Stas Modic. That means that Viktor Orosz will start on target number 1, the second end.
Well, you called it, Chef. You called it. It was indeed a 30 for Stas Modic, and at the moment he leads 30 playing 28.
Two points in 4 ends is not something you cannot overcome, but it does mean that your opponent has to slip up a little.
The start of the second end, and it will be Viktor Orosz of Hungary to shoot first.
Viktor, 9.
Well, there's that bow movement that Chef was talking about.
Stas, 9.
Typically people who shoot like Viktor with a very active bow arm, they tend to let it come out a bit more during windy situations. There you go, Stas knows how to do that as well. In windy situations, it's often the case that your sight's not completely in the middle when the release goes off, and then you want to correct it, which results in your bow arm making some weird movements, but I like to think that I know all about it.
Stas, 10.
Well, we'd like to too, as Stas Modic goes for a 28.
57, 58.
58 plays 57 as things stand at the moment. Well, you called it. Stas Modic actually using a bit of a bow quando, as we like to call it in the commentary box, himself there. So sort of following from Orosz. The conditions really that blustery.
Yeah, if you look at the back number on the quiver of Stas, you can see that everything is just blowing around, and there's not many flags to be seen on the venue, so it's difficult for the archers to judge where it's coming from. And because it's a gusty wind, you can also not really aim off. So you try to get your pin to go to the middle in any way possible, and sometimes that results in a bit of a sloppy shot from the outside. But most of the time, the archers know what they're doing.
Third end.
Well, as you can see, that numbers just stopped waving around for a bit, and then as soon as I say that, of course, it starts again. But Modic on the right leading 58-57 over Orosz, so Orosz will get set number 3 underway, fighting his way back into this.
Viktor with a 10. Stas with a 10.
As soon as the wind settles down, they're both in the middle of the target.
Viktor with a 10.
Victor doesn't spend a lot of time aiming through the shot, so when the shot goes off, that's the end of the shot for him. The arrow is gone and he doesn't need to focus on it anymore. It's a bit of a different approach than Stas, it looks like, because he has a much smoother smoother shot and more controlled after the release goes off as well. But it seems to work for like both approaches seem to work for both archers.
Stas, 10.
On the cue, they show you why with 2 perfect 30s, and that is interesting, Chef, because there is no one right way, is there? These archers develop their own style and their own process, and what they're trying to do is make it the best for them and then just repeat it over and over again, right?
Yeah, there's some rules of thumb in archery, but yeah, you can clearly see, especially in compound archery, but also in recurve archery, that there's different things that you can do to get the arrow in the middle, and yeah, one person is always different to the other, and the technique should probably be different then too. You cannot put everything in a certain mold and hope for the best.
Different body types, of course, lend themselves to different styles in all sports. So than archery. So 88 plays 87, the Slovenian in the lead. So it will be 23-year-old Viktor Orosz of Hungary shooting first. 1 point is not a massive deficit. Opportunity to come back over the next 2 ends. We start end number 4.
Viktor, 10. Stas, 9. Viktor, 9.
What I think both archers are doing really well is that they are accepting their bad shots. They know that there's nothing to do about them. You can see he's just nodding, and of course he's judging himself a little bit for shooting a 9 at such an important moment. But they're really looking objectively to what they're shooting, and I think that's an important mental thing to do in a situation like this. You cannot fix your problems in a finals venue anymore.
Stas, 10. 28. And when this is
Well,
confirmed,
that 10
then we go
couldn't
for
have
the
come at a
last
better
end
time.
with a
The
score of
2 nines
116,
meant
116.
that the scores were
And
level
it
going
means
into
that
the
we'll
final
target
2 arrows
number
of that
1
end.
if it's
It
confirmed.
does mean the
Viktor
scores are
Orosz.
now level going into the 5th. You talked about it, you touched on not dwelling on a bad arrow, but come on, that's easier said than done, right?
Definitely so, yeah. And I think the best way to learn it is to just practice it a lot. But it's an important thing to practice. If you want to be shooting well in a finals venue, one of the things that you need to learn is that you cannot fix technique things, or you cannot expect to just suddenly have a fix for the problem that you're doing. The time frame is too short, and you need to just get on with it and forget that you were shooting a less than ideal shot.
Incredible mental discipline.
Viktor Orosz, target 2,
These
Stas
archers.
Modic.
The two 23-year-olds step up to the shooting line for the 5th end of this compound men's gold medal match at the Veronica's Cup. It will be Viktor Orosz of Hungary to shoot first. 3 arrows each to decide the title.
10, Viktor. Stas, 9.
So mini advantage for the Hungarian.
9, liner 10, Viktor.
Called 9
Almost in
for
the-
a measure.
Almost in the same hole as the first arrow that he shot over there. But
Stas, 10.
I think this one might have a good chance of hitting the 10 ring. So if he could just keep this in.
Oh, he just hit the wind picking up. Oh, and he's had to redraw. How on earth did he recover for that? A 145.
That's a very good question.
145, 146 on our scoreboard. That's gone into the 10, so we know that's a 145.
So that means that
So-
we have the second arrow from Viktor.
Well, there we go. The stadium announcer calling. I thought he was going to call the win there, but the stadium announcer calling the second arrow from Orosz going for a measure. Chef, what's the Dutch angle on that one?
Then Viktor has it.
Well, the Dutch angle in this case is, from my angle, it seemed in, but like I said, I don't want to sound stupid and call it in when the judge clearly has a better view than I do.
Yeah, it's a little difficult from our point of vantage, but
And it's
look like it was good.
Euro.
And it does sound like it was good as well. Let's see what
20
they
seconds.
say. We're waiting
One
for
arrow.
final confirmation.
First
It is going to be a
explaining the rules of a
shoot-off.
shoot-off.
And then close to the center.
Well, we have got time to explain those rules of the shoot-off. Chef, over to you. What happens now?
And Viktor is
Both archers
starting
will have
again.
20 seconds to shoot 1 arrow each, where the closest arrow to the
Because the one who
center
started
wins.
first in the
I
first
think.
end.
It's been a while since I've shot a shoot-off, so
I can confirm, yeah, it's a 1 arrow shoot-off closest to the centre wins. Obviously, this targets are cleared because they want clean arrows, just in case we need to go for that critical measure. So if the 2 arrows are extremely close to each other in terms of their distance from the centre, from the spider, they will be measured by the judge. That's why we're getting 2 new target faces. Chef, you've been here a million times before, I'm sure. What's it like?
well, the key thing is to not over-try on a shoot-off. So you're very prone to thinking, okay, this is my one chance, so I need to do better than my best, but you cannot do better than your best. So just shoot your best shot and hope for the best.
Well, here we go with Orosz shooting first.
10, Viktor.
Right, on the X line. Longer hold.
10.
Oh, now this is very tight. This is very tight. Now, it looks like Modic thinks that Orosz probably just has the edge here, but this is definitely going to a measure, Chef.
I have the feeling that
Yeah, it should go to a measure at least. I have a suspicion again, but I don't want to do the commentator's curse and have it wrong again. So I'll just
well, we know they
wait this
both
one
scored
out.
10s. We know that much. We can say that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both on the lines. They're both requiring a very accurate measure. Here we go. The calipers are out for this one, so that's how close it is. So they've measured. That was Orosz's target. So perhaps an indication the judge thinks that one is closer.
And it's Viktor Orosz.
There we go, confirmation in venue that Viktor Orosz has done it in a shoot-off. He trailed from the very beginning, managed to pull things back level in the 5th and final end, and then in a shoot-off, in an incredibly tight shoot-off, has taken the compound men's gold here at the Veronica's Cup.